everybody. I hope you're having a great day. As you can tell by the title, I'm here to give you my thoughts on the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow Foundation. And I'm going to do this before I run out of daylight because for some reason, it's not as sunny at the front of my house as it should be. So, this is new to Canada. It just arrived this week. I was very excited. Unfortunately, by the time I got to my drugstore, it was already picked over. So I was lucky enough to be able to grab the last bottle of what I thought would be my shade, and that's number 202 Creamy Natural. The nice thing is they have testers. I like that about L'Oreal. As long as the store keeps up with it and keeps the displays tidy. They usually have testers of all their foundations, especially the new foundations, which is great because it stops people from opening the tubes in the store. It's got a nice plastic squeezy tube. It's almost identical to the Pro Matte, Infallible Pro Matte foundation, which I have not tried because I don't use anything that has the word matte in the title if it's a foundation, because again, as you can tell by the title, I don't know why I keep pointing up here. Maybe that's where the title is. I don't know. I have skin that is over 40 and very dry / dehydrated. So I've always had jazz hands. I've always had very dry skin my whole life. So that means my skin doesn't produce a lot of oil. At the very most, I get a very, very slight little bit of oil on my nose as the day goes on, but never even enough that I'm like, oh, I have an oily nose, I have to blot it or something. It's just that if I'm going to get shiny anywhere, it'll be on my nose, and makeup tends to rub off on my nose. Also, I wear glasses, so makeup rubs a little bit there. What else can I tell you about my skin? I moisturize with oil. Sometimes, I think today I have the Laura Mercier Radiance Primer on, so that's helping with the glow a little bit, but as you'll see, I don't know if you can see on my hands, it's got a really nice glowy finish to begin with, but not glowy as in dewy, wet looking. The other drugstore foundation that I'll compare is the Maybelline Fit Me for dry skin. It's very glowy. That to me is a very heavy, like very dewy, but like a wet dewy. It doesn't set, so it's almost like putting pudding on your face, and you have to be really careful with that because it will transfer. This, even though it's got like what I would say a radiant finish, satin finish, or natural finish, like it just looks like your skin has a really nice glow to it without being too dewy and like greasy looking. I would still say steer clear of this if you have combination or oily skin. But if you have dry skin, definitely give it a try. And if you're older and you're afraid of foundation like settling into lines and everything like that, I would still say give it a try because I haven't really had that issue with it. It says 24-hour wear. It doesn't wear 24 hours. I think I've been trying to like gauge how long it lasts. I'd say about 12 hours. 12 hours you could still go out and you wouldn't really look like you needed to touch up. Your skin would still look pretty good, but I mean, I don't know why you'd want to make it for 24 hours. I start to feel gross at about 12 hours anyway. It says it has medium coverage, which I can totally vouch for. It's buildable to full. It's definitely, especially if you have dry skin, I don't know about anybody else but me with my dry skin, I've gotten to the point where I figure a foundation for me is really good if it just gives me a nice glow and just kind of evens out my skin tone. I'm not looking for full coverage because that tends to make my skin look worse. It tends to stick to dry patches. So what I find is I just want something that's like a sheer wash of color, like that just kind of evens out my skin tone, and I've just kind of come to learn like that's the best foundation for me. So this was very strange for me because it's definitely a medium to full coverage foundation, and at the same time is radiant, and at the same time doesn't, go dry. At the same time sets, so it doesn't feel like putting on your face like the Fit Me foundation. It feels like I can rub my face and it feels set without having to be powdered. And that's good because I tend to steer clear of powders. Like I could powder my face with a highlighter. Like that's how dry my skin is. So if you have really dry skin, I think you understand what I mean. So I was hesitant because I thought, oh, so many foundations say that they're good for dry skin and then you put them on and it's not like they're not moisturizing enough. But this is really good. I'm very, very happy with it. So in Canada, it was $22 at Shoppers Drug Mart, which is, It's getting up there, but I'm pretty sure that I'd be able to find it at Walmart a little bit cheaper. I just haven't looked for it. I just wanted to grab it as soon as I saw it. The shade I'm in is number 202, Creamy Natural, which is the second from the lightest shade. So there's a complaint right there. I don't like the fact that, you know, there's no shade ranges for people who are very light or people who are very dark. It's just, there was only spot on the display for about 6 to 8 shades, and that's not going to cover everybody. Like, expand it a little bit. I'm sure because in Canada we always tend to get, you know, not a lot of selection. We don't get all the shades. We don't get, you know, all of the products in a line. Like maybe in the States the shade range is bigger. I'm not exactly sure. But I was lucky enough to get the shade that I needed, 202, and it has like a neutral undertone, not too yellow, but I did notice that there was different undertones based on the color that you got. The lighter shade was more of a porcelain that had kind of a pinky undertone, but everything else that I looked at was a little bit more on the yellow side. I'm wearing it today. I'm wearing it more full coverage than I would normally like to wear it, and that's just because on camera I wanted to be able to see it. And it's a little bit heavier than how I would like it to be, but I'm just so happy with the fact that I can put on a full coverage foundation and it doesn't look like I'm the Crypt Keeper, you know, with my skin peeling off in flakes and chunks. It looks really, really good. I'm very happy with it. I apply it with a Dampen Beauty Blender or with a brush. I feel like it goes into the skin really well. It looks very natural. I blend it down my neck a little bit. I don't notice any oxidization with it. As I've said about 16 times now, I'm really happy with it. I quite like it a lot. So if you have a question that I haven't answered, please put it in the comments below, because I go through and I answer all of the comments on my videos. And I think that's all I have to say. Please give it a try. I think you will really like it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, everyone.